Hi guys, Simon Drizellian, Voice of Reason. It didn't come on in a couple of days because I just wanted the noise of the election to calm down. But if you go back through my videos, you'll see I had this nailed actually. I said it was going to be 306 electoral votes. Looks like it's actually going to be 312. And I said that 312 was optimistic because I didn't believe that that Nevada, I thought it was going to be close, but I didn't think that that Trump was going to get it. So yeah, pretty spot on. And I'm not a pollster. It seems that all the pollsters got it wrong, all the media got it wrong, and but a lot of us who see the writing on the wall, who just have to be involved in humanity, understand it. So what I wanted to do today is just go through Kamala Harris's missteps. Now, I just got to say, just at the start, obviously I'm British, I don't vote, but I do think, given that she only had 3 months, I thought she did pretty well to get to where she was. Unfortunately, getting to where she should be and it being a reality was actually a lie. If she'd have actually gone to in 3 months and got it as close as it was polled, then yeah, that would be impressive. They didn't get 3 months, obviously, because of the coup against Biden, and that was the first misstep. You know, so you've got Harris, who was obviously put in because of the color of her skin and because of her gender, and that's just a fact of life. You know, Biden even said as much. You know, the fact that she had never won a primary, the fact that she was, even 3 months ago, was the the worst VP ever on record, you know, with the highest unfavorability ratio. I think that was, yeah, but she got put in because that's where the money was, unfortunately. You know, they wouldn't be able to access Biden's money unless they had her on the ticket. So I think that the fault of this really goes back down to Obama, in reality, for actually forcing that issue. I'm trying to work out where this light is. It's a good light in this garden. Anyway, so I think that the coup against Biden was a real misstep, and it put her back time-wise, and it just showed the whole system to be largely corrupt. I mean, because they kept talking about, you know, democracy, and they went against it. I do believe that she should have gone for Shapiro. If she'd have gone for Shapiro, she would have won Pennsylvania. And as we've seen in every election, you know, the blue wall all vote together, and they voted together again this time. It's just that they voted for Republicans. So one could assume if she'd have got Shapiro in, she'd have won Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin and would now be the president. And she didn't do that because he's Jewish. So that's her racism, and she did it because she didn't want to upset the progressive left. So they can take that one on the face as well, because they're the ones that lost the election. I think Walz was a particularly bad candidate. All of his nonsense, he was obviously not vetted at all. I mean, the fact that all of this stuff came out against him and will potentially still come out against him, all the China stuff, all the child stuff, all that type of thing, I think it's going to really come back and bite him. So that was a poison chalice from the outset, and he just did not appeal to the working man in the Rust Belt that they thought. He just didn't, you know. So then we had the no press interviews. Oh my God, can you imagine? I mean, press conferences is the bread and butter of any politician. It's where you get to actually talk about your policy. It's where you get to make your case to the people and to the press. Now, yeah, you've got a very favorable press, and I think that's how she got away with it. But in the same way as Biden did the same thing, just, you know, stuck away and just refused to give interviews. Now, when she did give interviews, then we understood why her handlers didn't want her to give interviews, because she can't think on her feet, and that's pretty, yeah, she can work well with a teleprompter. You know, she's an attractive woman, she's got some charisma about her, she's feisty, but she just can't speak without going into these word salads. You know, so press conferences would have been useful, but they are a double-edged weapon, because then people would see her for what she actually is and was, and I think that they saw through that anyway. I do feel that the media and the polls are going to be the the big losers out of this. I mean, the media have been lying to us for the last year or so, saying that Biden was sharp, he was fine, he's on his game. That clearly wasn't the case. They said that this was going to be too close to call, that it was the tightest election in history. That was a lie. Everything was just a lie from the media, and I think this could be the death of traditional media, or at least people taking media as their main source of information. I think it's going to be largely now down to platforms. The pollsters were just totally off, including the Stelter, all of the CNN, CBS, ABC, all of them got it wrong. And Alan Lichtman, who supposedly is like the guru of this with his 14 keys, he should be looking for another job now, because he was just so wrong. It was just not funny. And you could see from the video when he found out that his career was imploding. I thought that was really telling. The other thing is, during her fairly feisty rallies, when the Christians stood up and started talking about God, and she said, "You're at the wrong rally." Oh my God. I mean, literally. You've got "In God We Trust" actually on all of your currency and all of your flags and everything, and every courthouse in the country, and you're telling people that believe in God they're at the wrong rally. That was the biggest misstep. I mean, I'm an expert in psychological operations and intelligence, and that is one quick way to lose pretty much probably a third of the country. So she lost them, in that way. Her reliance on celebrities. At the end of the day, no one really cares what celebrities think anymore. Celebrity is done. Hollywood is done. George Clooney, what does he know about politics? He's a good-looking guy. That's it. Beyonce. I mean, the list of her celebrities, as was pointed out by Hinchcliffe, it was a Diddy list. All of the people that she had endorsing her were all toxic. I mean, the only one she didn't get was Jay-Z, but Leonardo DiCaprio, Oprah, I mean, all of them, they're just all toxic, and they did nothing for her whatsoever. Everyone turned up at the rallies, Meg Thee Stallion, for Beyonce, and then went when they didn't get a free concert. It was the biggest misstep ever. Whereas with Trump, he has surrounded himself by credible influencers, people with actual business acumen and real influence in the game. It wasn't just about being pretty, and it wasn't just about being female, and I think that was a massive misstep. The other big misstep was Obama's. Okay, Obama obviously didn't want to endorse her anyway, and I think he was a bit pissed off that Clinton did. But when Obama stood up and berated black men, oh my God. I mean, I saw the writing on the wall at that point. He told them off, and so did Michelle Obama. And to be honest, he sounded like a slave owner. It was like, you do this or else. And it was the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen in my life. And my experience, I mean, black men are proud men. You don't tell them what to do. You just have to look at, the NFL, the NBA, boxing. I mean, track and field. You don't tell these men that they're wrong. You should work towards what they want, not just tell them who they should vote for and who they should be. That was a massive misstep, and it was just short of go pick a bale of cotton. It really was. It was the worst thing I think I'd ever seen, but the biggest disrespect of the black populace that I've seen, certainly in my lifetime. So I thought that was bad. And also in regards to the policies, we didn't know what her policies were, and she was unable to argue those policies. And when she was questioned on those policies, all she could talk about was coming from a middle-class family, and that was largely it. So I think that was a real misstep, and the fact that we've also found out that she was totally rubbish without a teleprompter. She had no clear, cohesive thought for herself. She's obviously and this is what we know when you're actually under handlers. Handlers tell you exactly what to say. Sometimes you wear an earpiece, and they literally just tell you how to respond. I think her only good point was the debate with Trump. I did think that she won that. And that was largely because, as we now know, she got the questions beforehand, and all she had to do was respond, and she wasn't really challenged at all. But that was her only saving grace. So I think now, I don't know what her path is. I mean, obviously Walz can go back to being governor. I don't know what her path is now. Possibly back to the Senate. She may try and go back and do the governorship of California. That would probably be a logical thing. Try and take on Gavin Newsom, or do a bit of a swap over next time round, so that he will run for president and she'll take over the governor. That's the only thing I can see. She's not going to go back to being a prosecutor. So I don't know where she fits. I really don't know where she fits. I think that the Democrats are going to have a massive soul searching now. Their message fell flat. It fell flat with blacks. It fell flat with Hispanics. You can't expect to bring in a whole bunch of people over the border, give them phones, give them credit cards, give them accommodation, and then tell them they're wrong for believing in Christ and family and all of the progressive left stuff. Those people are religious, they're proud, and they're family oriented. And as has been shown, they voted for Trump, and so did the blacks. So all of the people that they normally would rely on and take for granted left them. The only people that were there were white liberals, educated, as I say educated, I've met lots of educated idiots, but college women, college white women, and the LGBTQ and trans community. That's it. And the progressives. That's who the Democratic Party are. They've lost their base, and they've lost their message, and they've lost their way. And unless they find that, they will be out in the wilderness for a generation. That's me. This is Simon Giselian, the voice of reason, and I'm going to get on with some other videos as well. There's a lot to talk about. This world is going to be changing dramatically, and I want to be on it. Okay, take care. Bye bye now.